Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of NRL Supercoach Off the Bench TLT podcast. Geez, we're nearing the end. We're at round 25 now. Not long to go. Elimination finals this week, head to heads, and whoever gets through gets to that illustrious grand final. So here to go through it with me, we've got Timmy. Welcome, Timmy. How are you?
Afternoon, Roscoe. Yeah, not bad, mate. Still stuck at work. I'd much rather be sitting at home or sitting on the beach somewhere. It would be nice, cracking a beer this time of day. But no, I digress. We will sit here and help out our fellow super coaches and hopefully give them some of the inside goss on what's going on.
Yeah, there's not really a lot to go through, but we'll go through it anyway. And then after we have go through the teams, we're going to have a quick discussion around what we spoke about on Sunday night, which is Cleary replacements. I've done a bit of a write up today on the page regarding to the best options to bring in for him, and basically what they're averaging against those sides and their upcoming draws and what I rate as the best draws. So bit to go through. Obviously, depending on if you've got the duels, there's other options as well. So we'll rip into the sides first, Timmy. First game is the Tigers against Manly at Leichhardt on Thursday night. Junior Tuku and Solomon Malio come into the side. Adam Dewey's out with a knee injury, and Leilui is out with a HIA. For Manly, Tommy Talau is out with a pec injury. Cooler comes into the starting side. Carl Lawton returns to the second row. Gerbo goes back to the bench. Um, what do you want to talk about this one? I mean, I guess this is obviously the VC option for most people. I'm guessing those who have got Turbo most likely go the VC here. But do you go the balls to walls play and captain a player on a Thursday night? Given
Yeah,
how
look, it's
low the
not for me.
scoring's been usually.
Yeah, that's it, mate. We've been talking about it all year, the Thursday night curse. It's just, you just can't go there. I mean, it's a free VC, but the
Yeah.
hard part is Teddy's been playing really well, and if you want to captain Teddy, you can't have both. So, yeah, it's great to VC Turbo and hope for the best. Obviously, a lot of teams are going to be running thin on trades and things like that. So it will depend this round. Maybe it's one of those ones where people hold off on the Nathan Cleary trade and put their money elsewhere for a knockout. For a knockout final, maybe you use it in a higher ceiling spot somewhere else. So you could maybe then throw the captaincy on Nathan Cleary if he's not going to play, which I'm sure we're going to talk about later on. But
Yeah.
yeah, look, it's a free VC loop this week, I reckon.
Yeah. Right. First of the Friday games is the Warriors up against the Dogs. For the Warriors, Wade Egan's back from elbow injury. Freddie Lussick goes back to the bench. Harris Tavita drops out. And obviously, this will be Sean Johnson's final game in front of his home crowd, which have actually renamed the stadium Sean Johnson Stadium or something this week. So it's good on the Warriors for doing that. I'm sure this game's been sold out. Will definitely be sold out like every other game has been for them. For the Dogs, no changes. Max Platt is lingering on the extended bench as he works his way back from a wrist injury. Um, we've got much to talk about here. I guess at the end we'll talk about clear replacements. Obviously, Matt Burton's obviously one that we can definitely consider for that one, Timmy.
Yeah, just correcting you there. You said Max Plath is on the extended bench. I think you
Oh,
mean
Max
Max
King,
King.
sorry. Excellent.
If Max Plath is
Excellent.
helping the Bulldogs out, who are also in and around the eight, they're probably going to be a bit cranky.
Sweet. If you own him, does that mean you get his score twice or?
Oh, it'd be a super coach dream, wouldn't it? Running out in both squads.
uh, I
Now,
don't
my
think there's much
apologies.
to talk. Yeah,
Going back to your actual question, Ross.
yeah,
Look, I've in my team currently, I've got Carraz. If Max King makes the starting side, he's certainly a pod for that front row forward spot. If you're still holding on to Payne Haas or someone like that, obviously it's not a high ceiling spot, so it's not somewhere where you really want to spend money. But if you've got someone on the buy this week, or you've still got well, whatever, if you can't, or if you're looking for someone for a draft league or something like that, Max King would be a pretty handy front rower if you can make it work.
yeah. Somehow or another, I don't think front row is a priority right now. Somehow or another, with all these
Probably
other
not.
injuries and everything else like that. So I think Carraz is a great option here for captaincy in this game as well. For those who, I'll probably VC him because I don't have Turbo, so I'll probably VC him into Teddy, which we'll talk about later. But I think we'll just move on to the next game. There's not really much relevance, which is actually the same with the next game, which is the Friday,
Hold
the
on,
second
hold on.
Friday.
Let's go back.
Yeah.
Let's go back a step. You just said don't have turbo. So are you watching this game at all on Thursday night, or are you hiding behind the couch? What's going on? Tigers fan up against
Well,
turbo.
I do have other players in the game, so I have to watch it. I've got Garrick and DCE, so I'll be definitely watching it. Plus, I've got Galvin as well, but I don't know if I'm going to play Galvin yet. But given the way he's going, I probably will. Uh, yeah. I don't know, Tim. Okay.
It's gonna be a
It's
nightmare.
going to be a
I,
hard watch like every other game is when I watch Turbo play. And trust me, I can tell you
yeah.
now. Um, right, next game is the Broncos up against the Eels on Friday night. For the Broncos, Tristan Sailor's obviously new fullback. Reece Walsh just sidelined. Cobbo comes in for Karapani, who goes back to the bench. Winger Sivo comes into the starting side, as does Tulangi. Sean Lane goes back to. Sean Lane goes back to where? Oh, he's going to prop. Sean Lane starts at prop. Um, and Waimea Greg's obviously suspended for his dog action tackle on Connor Watson. Moriarty comes onto the bench as well as Makatoa. Jake Targo drops out obviously for Sivo. Tim, are you going to beat this game?
Uh, Time will tell, mate. Obviously, I'm a member. It is a home game, so obviously I've got my tickets to it. I'm not quite sure how my Friday is going to pan out yet, but the plan at this stage will be to be at the game. But I've also got our last football game of the season for my over 35s team. So, yeah, a little bit split for this one. Look, I don't know. I don't remember whether they were named last week or not, but the Broncos extended bench is what's interesting. Ben Takura, Fletcher Baker, Jaden Hunt, Corey Pates, and Corey Oates. I would imagine with No Pain Haas, if Ben Takura is actually fit, surely he finds his way into that team. All our Broncos games now are must-win games if we want to try and squeeze into that eighth spot. So I would think if Ben Takura is fit, he is absolutely a plug and play in there. Obviously, that's a Broncos thing or a draft thing. I wouldn't be going there with Classic though.
Mm. Yeah. All right. What else? Nothing else in this game, I don't think. Let's be honest. We'll move on to the next game. First of the Saturday games is the Raiders at home to the Panthers. For the Raiders, Rapana returns from concussion. He's going to be at fullback. Kale Weiss goes to 5'8", and 18, Adam Cook's 18th man. Albert Hopewadi comes onto the wing. Seb Chris goes into the centres, and Ethan Strange drops out. For the Panthers, Luai shifts to halfback. Schneider comes in to 5'8" for Cleary. Luke Summerton starts at hooker with Mitch Kenny suspended. Lee Martin returns from suspension. Lindsay Smith goes back to the bench. Matt Eisenhuis drops out. Paul Almoney is named on the extended bench. And Scott Sorensen remains sidelined. What's there to talk about here? I mean, I think, you know what, Tim? I think, unless you've got anything else, I think there's a couple of players I do want to go through for this game, but I want to do it later in regards to the Cleary, obviously the Cleary thing. So, have you got anyone else that you want to talk about in this one at all?
Yeah, look, depending on what you're doing in your fullback spot, I think Dylan Edwards traditionally scores pretty damn well when Nath isn't there from memory. So as a pod play, well, I brought Dylan Edwards into my draft. And actually, no, I think I've had him for ages because I kept him, didn't sell him when he was out injured. But look, Dylan Edwards could be a bit of a pod play for the run home as opposed to Turbo or Teddy or someone along those lines. If you want to go a bit of a different route, looking for a pod. Outside of that, yeah, look, I don't know if you're looking for a downgrade option in your halfback spot, like I said, we're going to talk about Cleary later on, but you could probably do worse than Brad Schneider.
Yeah. All right. Second of the Super Saturday games, the Storm at home to the Dolphins. For the Storm, Tyron Wishart's been named on the wing. Grant Henderson is out with the HIA. Flair Longo's been added to the bench. Christian Welsh is named on the extended bench. The Dolphins are still unchanged. Mark Nichols is back from his HIA, and Lachlan Hubner drops out. How do you see this one going, Timmy? Do you think this is going to be all one-way storm, or do you think Dolphins can actually turn up enough full knowing that they really need to win this game?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. It's going to be an interesting one because obviously the Storm are the juggernaut that they are, and if the Dolphins want to compete in finals footy, they've got to beat these sorts of teams. They obviously need the points to shore up a spot in the eight because at the moment it's probably teetering on not so confident of getting in there. So look, they will be going all guns blazing, I'd imagine. The Storm are obviously really solid in defence, but the Dolphins are pretty much all out attack. So it will be an interesting game. Who wins the battle, defensive side or an attacking side?
Yeah. I don't think there's really much to talk about in this one. I mean, obviously, Elise Katoa been going really well. I think if you've got Pappenhausen, I'll be selling him. If you've still got him and you've got trades left, I'll be getting him to Turbo or to Teddy or Pong or even Dylan Edwards, to be honest with you. But I don't think there's much else to go through here, Timmy. We'll just move on to the next game. South, last of the Super Saturday game, South at home to the Knights. What have we got here for South? Cody Walker's out with the HIA. Dean Hawkins comes in to number 7. Tyron Munro and Michael Cheekham are named as in amongst the reserves, and Havili is listed as 18th man. So let me get this straight. Richard Kenner knocks a bloke out cold on the weekend and doesn't cop a suspension for it and got sin bin.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't. It looked pretty ugly. Whether or not he's just named because is he going? That's right, because he got
I have to
4 weeks,
check it.
isn't it?
I
So
have
I
to check
think they've
it.
just named him there.
I have to check it, but I thought he got suspended for like 3 weeks, didn't he?
Yeah,
I'm
three to
sure he
four
did.
weeks. I thought, mate. Yeah.
I think it
So
was three with
I
the
reckon they've.
early. I think it was 3 with the early play and 4 weeks with the if he contests and loses.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So you'd imagine that Tyron Munro comes in for him. And then for the Knights, Jack Cogger takes over from Tyson Gamble, who broke his hand. Will Price comes onto the bench, and Dylan Lucas returns from a hamstring injury, with debutant Kyle McCarthy moving to the reserves. I don't think there's much Supercoach relevance with this game. I mean, I think this is a great matchup for Ponga for those like myself who own him. And obviously, I think there's not really much else there to discuss, obviously, other than the fact that Cody Walker's out, but I don't think he's very highly owned anymore. I think most people jumped off him already.
Yeah, no, it is a bit of a concern for me because I do have Cody, so I've got to replace Cody and Nath this week, which is I'll have to roll the dice and see which one's going to benefit me more long term. I would think the halfback position rather than the 5'8". So yeah, for me personally, it's going to be an interesting one. Look, there's some guys in there that have been playing some really good footy. Look, Kaloa Matangi, I know we've been talking about him a
Mm.
lot for a fair while now. The guy just keeps on keeping on. A down game for him is still bigger than most of the other second row forwards ceiling at the moment. So, look, I think you can lock him in, and that's pretty much about it. I picked up Jai Gray in my draft team a couple of weeks ago. I'm actually playing him in my 5'8" spot as opposed to my fullback spot, which I think will probably go all right. Outside of that, yeah, KP would certainly be a captain option.
I think Greggy Marzu is obviously a great play for this week. I would not wouldn't be resting him up in this one. That's for sure. I think he's up against Fletcher Myers in this one. So yeah, I'll be definitely playing Marzu this week for sure.
Yeah, as long as you can keep him away from Richie Kenner, he doesn't take his head off. He'll be okay.
All right, first of the Sunday games is Titans at home to the Roosters. For the Titans, Bo Firma and is back from injury as he's fought awaken from suspension. Aaron Clark and Cleese go back to the bench, and Palacia and Palulu drop out. And for the Roosters, Hargroves is back from his 4-match ban. Spencer Leonard goes back to the bench. Nat Butcher is to play lock to cover for Connor Watson, who's out with the HIA. Shandon Smith's been added to the bench, and Sil Wong and Nafu White drop to the reserves. Um, I don't see anything here other than a Roosters flogging, to be honest with you. I mean, the Titans have been absolutely pathetic the last couple of weeks. That game on the weekend against against the Dragons, their defense was just absolutely shot to pieces. And if the Dragons can do that to them, then God knows what the Roosters are going to do to them, even if it is at home. I mean, they lost 44-0 at home the other week to the Sharks.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. This game's a little bit scary. They've obviously brought Bro Firma back into the second row spot to try and shore up a little bit of size there. But yeah, look, I don't know. I can't see much else rather than a pizzling display from the Titans and an absolute shellacking given out by the Roosters. And considering I've got plenty of their players in my Supercoach team, I'm pretty happy with that. It's
Uh,
interesting one whether to bring Angus in. He's had a down week. He's had a few down weeks lately. He's one that I was targeting and just waiting for the price to drop. And my other crappy second rowers that I've got in Smithies and Piakura for their price to go up. So I think I can actually do that this week with just the one trade. So it's really going to be interesting now that Nate's gone, Cody Walker's out. Yeah, do I just stiffen up that second row and just play a little bit of roulette there in the halves or what? I'm not quite sure. We'll wait and see.
Dom Young, I'm scared not owning him in this one too. We saw what he did last week in that game, and geez, I wish I had the traits to bring him in this week, but I just don't have it. I would love to bring him in this week for this matchup. Jaden Campbell, Tim, if you had the trades, would you be selling him? He's had a couple of pretty average games, but it obviously depends on where you've got him. If you've got him at fullback, obviously it's a no-brainer. You've got to get rid of him at fullback, but at 5'8", obviously, as we said the other day on Sunday pod, there's not many options at 5'8".
No, it's exactly right, mate. I'd be looking at duels and things like that to see who you can move around, but I'm not sure what he's priced at the moment. Surely he's back down to 600 somewhere in and around there, but um, yeah, I don't know. He's had a couple of down games, and I can't see anything else but an absolute flogging here from the
Mm.
Roosters.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I own a few of them, and I may own another one depending on if I bring in Sam Walker, who we'll be talking about shortly. Last of the games is the local derby. It's the Dragons against the Sharks. For the Dragons, just the one change. RFM comes onto the bench with last week's debutant King dropping out. Braden Trindle is back on deck from a shoulder injury at halfback. Bailey goes back to hooker. Cam McInnes goes back to lock. Colero returns from centres after missing last week's game with illness. Teague Wilton is back as well as Tom Hazelton. Winger Sione Katoa has been replaced by Stan Stone Street. The bench is Jack Williams, Hunt, Billy Burns, and that's it. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of this game, Tim. I really don't know. I think it's at Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. That doesn't actually say, but it's either there or Cogra. But this is gonna be a big game. I think for both teams. I mean, for the Dragons, obviously need the win for the 8, and then Sharks win the game, and that's the top 4 spot for them, pretty much nearly sewn up.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously the Bulldogs are right up there as well. So it's going to be a bit of a fight for that top 4 spot, let alone and then again obviously in the bottom parts of the 8. So look, both teams absolutely really need a win. For me personally, yeah, Iro is back in, which is great news.
Mm.
For my draft team, Katoa is out unfortunately, so that's going to hurt me a little bit. I'm going to have to go centre wing shopping for the semi final. That's the off the bench semi final, and yeah, I don't. Teague Wilton back in obviously shores them up a little bit. I really like Teague Wilton as a pod play, but I can't imagine you using trades there in your second row this time of season. Um, Outside of that, yeah, obviously they're just about back to normal and getting close to full strength. I would imagine that's Sharky's team. As for the Dragons, yeah, if you've got Lomax or you've got room to go Lomax, I could see him scoring well.
Yeah.
I've still got Iro and Mulatalo. I wanted to go Lomax a while ago and just basically run out of trades, but I've still got plenty of room there, or plenty of decent quality players in my centre wing. So yeah, no big loss. I think this is going to be close. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those ones where you're just going to toss a coin.
interesting that Talakai started last game in the centres, and then I'm having a look now, and he's not even named, and there's at all in the team, not even in the reserve. So I'm not sure what the go is with him, but he's not been named.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's not named, he's not talked about in the write up, and then they
No,
also don't give a reason as to why Sione Katoa's out either. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a bit left field that one.
Mm. Right, Timmy. Now, Nathan Cleary, obviously out till the finals. For those who have got trades left, as I said earlier, I've done a bit of an article on the page of what the best options are. I mean, obviously for me, I think the way I see it is probably for me, I think the best two ones to go in the halfback position, the way going based on draws and all that sort of stuff. I think Jerome Luai and Sam Walker for me are probably the best two options.
Yeah, look, I'm still a big fan of DCE. I think DCE and Sam Walker, I think, are probably the two best options. If you want to go something pottish, maybe move one of your 5'8" if you've got the duels up there. I think Jerome Hughes would be too big a risk of getting a rest sometime
Mm,
over the next 2 weeks. So yeah, look, I don't know. I'd imagine Jerome Luai is going to be very lowly owned. Sorry, so a
yeah,
massive pod play there, but I think he's going to be heavily traded in this week.
yeah. The other options I've got down too, Timmy, if you've got the duels to do it, Dylan Edwards, obviously Teddy, Tommy Dearden's another one is a massive pod, but they don't play this week though. That's the only problem they're on a bye, so that probably rules him out. And then you've got obviously Zach Lomax, Dom Young, and Jacob Carraz.
Yeah, look, the other one actually for playing in the halves I do like is Burton. I think he's going to go all right, and obviously the
Yeah,
Dogs just have to keep pushing for that top four spot. They're pretty much cemented in the eight now, so as long as they keep working hard and getting the points, they should make that top four. So
yeah.
look, he's certainly someone that I'll be keeping an eye on as well.
Yeah, the two that I did mention, obviously, Sam Walker and Jerome Luai, there's a good chance both of them get a rest at the back end too. So as I put in the article, so
Yeah,
if you wanted that
yeah,
sort of
and it will
safer
be
route,
interesting once that top.
just going to say if you want to go that safer route, I think your safest route is probably DCE, Matt Burton, or even Benny Hunt as a bit of a pod as well.
Yeah, we did talk about Ben Hunt in the Sunday night show that we just did the other night. Look, I'm a big fan of Benny Hunt. Can't wait till he finishes his retirement back at the Broncos. I'm sure it will happen sooner or later. But yeah, look, hard part for him is he'll be playing number 9, and he loves to play halfback. So he's one of the best
uh,
number 9s in the comp. He just likes to have a number 7 on his shirt.
maybe for Origin, that's about it.
No, it is a tough one, mate. It's and
Yeah,
each team is obviously completely team dependent. It depends on where you're stacked and how many trades you've got left as well.
that's it. Uh, let's have a quick look at the trade in and trade out just quickly. Obviously, Nathan Cleary's number one traded out by an absolute country mile. Scotty Drinkwater's at number two, Val's at number three. Look, I get it because they are on a bye this week and it is a must win head to head, so I can understand why people are doing it. Kyle Hero's number four. Don't that makes no sense to me. I would not be trading out Iro given the fact that he's playing and that they have a good run home. Blaze Talungi's at number five. He's got to go. Ruben Cotter, Reece Robson, Cody Walker, Asako, and Coruscant rounded out. Is there anyone else in that top 10 other than Iro that you think is probably a crazy trade out at all?
Uh the Reese was it Reese Robson was in there as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
don't
thought.
forget they're on a buy though this week.
Yeah, no, I understand that. So I'm assuming that he's just a trade out because teams have I don't know. Teams have got no spare hooker, so maybe they're
Yeah,
they're doing that. But I don't know. I'd be tempted to leave Reece Robson there and take an AE, depending on what you've got.
yeah. Depends on
Um,
who he is, right? So,
yeah,
yeah,
I'd prefer to trade someone out to enough and keep Robson there rather than trade Robson out and go to another hooker. I don't know. I
yeah.
don't see. I don't see why you'd want to hold him. Sorry, I don't see why you'd want to trade him out. I think you
Well,
could
I'm in the
hold him
same
and benefit the
situation.
last 2 rounds.
I mean, I'm in the same situation too, Tim. I mean, my hookers are Connor Watson and Joey Lussick, and I don't want to sell Connor Watson. Just he's only missing one game, so
Mm.
I've got to have a look at my other options as to what I can do. I mean, if I sell Nath to someone, I should have enough cash to upgrade Joey Lussick to someone, but I just have to see how much cash I've got currently in the bank. Trade-ins, quickly go through this because I think a lot of them, I don't hate any of these options. Actually, maybe number four. So DC is number one, Tim Walker's number two, Jerome Luai's number three, Jerome Hughes at number four. Tim, I don't like it. I just think he's going to get a rest as well. But so can some of these other guys. But he's not. He doesn't seem to score well when Cameron Munster's in that team too. So for me, it's a bit of an odd one.
Yeah, and the hard part is too his workload throughout the season, carrying that side with Munster out. Yeah, I think it's inevitable he will get a spell between now and finals time. I mean, mind you, Bellyache is the kind of guy that can also give him a rest during the week. Maybe Jerome trains 1 day less a week or something like that. Um, but I think for the Storm, most of their troops are back now, so
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see over the next couple of rounds. I honestly think that the Storm will go full strength against the Broncos in round 27. So I think they've made the mistake in the past by resting players the round before the finals. I think they will rest next week in 26 and then go full strength into 27 because obviously they know the Broncos are last home game of the season for the Bronx. So that look, they will be going all guns blazing, I reckon.
I think that next week, round 26, is going to be a mass restings between the Roosters, the Panthers, and also the Storm as well. So, yeah, just be prepared. Dom Young, number five, Teddy, number six, Turbo, number seven, Kraz, number eight, Lomax, number nine, Burton, number 10. Look, I don't have anything against any of these trade-ins. Obviously, Jerome Hughes is probably the only one for me, but the rest of them all pretty much make sense to me.
Yeah, mate. There's certainly some logic to it. I'd just be try and keep an eye on, like we were saying, with restings next week. I wouldn't be trading unless you really had to. If you don't
Mm.
have a quality 17 this week, then could understand the trade. But I think there's going to be absolute carnage next week, and you're going to want two trades if you can afford it.
Yeah, I think Cleary obviously has to be sold this week. I don't think you can hang on to him, given that all the finals are eliminations from now. So, but definitely with the other ones, I mean, yeah, I would be hanging on to him unless you have to trade. I'm with you, Tim. I think it's obviously a vital stage next week. Maybe not so much, especially for those playing overall as well. Next week could be absolute utter carnage. I mean, I've got five Roosters in my team now. If they all get rested, and then say Elise Katoll gets rested as well, and then maybe I don't know, maybe who's the bloke? I don't think he'll get rested, but McLean from the Panthers, if he gets rested too, there's seven of my players gone already in 1 week.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's going to be interesting. I think the teams who are obviously fighting for the bottom four spots in the eight aren't going to be able to afford to rest players, but I think the guys in the top two or three teams, yeah, anything could happen next round.
Yeah,
The only thing I will say is, like I stressed before, if you're going to VC on Turbo on the Friday night, it's essentially a free loop. So there is a world where you could hold Cleary then and use him as a captain loophole as long as the rest of your team's solid. But it's like I said, it's totally team dependent. Cleary might just be a really handy captain this week, even though he doesn't set foot on the park.
yeah. All right, I just before we finish up, a couple of things to finish on. Shout out to our sponsors, Bluebet. Thank you to them. If you haven't, if you're interested in making a deposit, shoot me a direct message and we'll get you sorted out. I do believe that they have been bought out by Better, so they will be joining forces at some stage. I saw an email come through today about that. So I'll have to obviously see what happens with sponsorship for next year, but at this moment, we've still got them on board. So thank you to the guys, Brett and the team at Bluebet. And then lastly, just in our off the bench overall group, Tim. Now, as we know, the overall winner gets the shirt, they get the jersey of their choice, the trophy as well. And with about 3 rounds to go, boy, it's just tied up top, Tim. So at the moment, we've got Dave Campbell from Dave's Angels sitting in 15th overall. We've got Brendan Savage from the Experience podcast sitting in 24, and Jack from Do We Get a Bag on 28. Now, just to give you a bit of an idea, there's only about 120 points between first and third. So there's not much in it. So good luck, boys, to the rest of the season. And yeah, there's some good prizes there, Tim, for the winner.
Absolutely, mate, and just the pride of wearing one of our shirts. It's only our actual cast that have one of those shirts. So yeah, wear it with pride. I want to see some photos when we do send it out to the eventual winner, and
Yep,
we will absolutely be posting
that's it. All right,
those
Tim.
pictures on our Facebook page. So yeah,
Yeah.
get involved.
All right, well, that's it for the TLT podcast for this week, Tim. Thanks again for jumping on board. Appreciate it. Brad wouldn't have been available today. He was getting some teeth pulled out or something today, so I'm sure he's in a lot of pain right now. So there'll be only a bit of soup or something for him for the next couple of days, no doubt.
I think that's what happens when you get really old, mate. Your teeth just fall out, and you have to blend everything and get used to sucking on soup. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Brad, it's just get used to it, pal.
All
I'm
right.
I'm I'm sure
Until
I'm
yep.
sure blended meat tastes wonderful.
I might have a big steak just for him tonight. Just
That sounds fantastic.
nice big
Get
juicy
well soon,
T-bone
brother.
or a rump steak or something tonight with all the trimmings, mate. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some
All right,
pork crackling just to
until
tip down
Sunday
Sunday.
night. Until Sunday night. Good luck this week, guys, and we'll see you then.
Absolutely. Stay safe. Be good.